What is up, guys? We are covering the Rising Empires Finals, otherwise known as War Chief Club, and we have DivineDFP spawning in the south side as the English, not making it easy with these color swaps, and GG.simtom spawning in the north as the French in the red over here. It's the pit, so a pretty open, close map. Usually you'll see a little bit of pressure, but the games can end up lasting a little bit of time. So we'll see how this one ends up working out, but as I said, the finals of Rising Empires tournament. This is the October final one of the October monthly, so if you want to sign up, there'll be a link down below to jump in the Discord, and all the necessary information is in there, so jump on in. More than welcome to have y'all in any of these tournaments. But right now, Divine looks to be going with a little bit of an early farm opening build, heavy onto the wood line, the 2-2-2, but actually sending an extra onto wood, whereas GG.simtom just going with that classic French opening onto the food and onto the gold, and we'll try to get that early age up timing followed by the early night. Yeah, so over here, Divine will just be looking for that, kind of getting his stronger eco going in with the slower age up timing. But being the English, you can be a little bit more greedy. Your town center is a little bit more defensive, and you can kind of utilize that in your favor. And the farms are cheaper, give you that extra food time. Yeah, just deciding to gather up a good amount of wood into the bank, not kind of doing too much with it like we normally would see. Usually they'll start trickling in these farms already, but eating up the sheep, as in the Dark Age, the food differential compared to farms isn't really worth it as far as the building time goes and everything there. So I guess I see the point where Divine's coming from. He utilizes the farms in Feudal Age where they actually are a better food gathering point, but going in still with that typical build, trying to draw the scout a little closer into that town center. He jumps inside, but GG.simtom, he was on top of it, pulled the scout away in time, and still circle around, and look at that sheep advantage he's able to get, forcing the scout of Divine to stay at home. Also is not allowing Divine to get any vision of GG.simtom's plan, which only 2 on the School of Cavalry is not the typical age up that you would see out of the French, moving heavier onto the wood now already, 7 onto the wood. Still a little bit of scout harass by GG.simtom, just making sure he gets all of that, knows exactly where Divine's scout is, and is not allowing Divine to have any vision on his side, and at the same time putting a decent amount of damage on top of these villagers. Look at this back and forth game. And on the backside, GG.simtom is already moving over to the stone. He is not planning on getting an early night out at all. He is planning on going up for that fastest second TC timing that he can do. You go 9:02, I think it is, onto the food, and just how you saw, he pulled all off except for enough villagers to non-stop produce vills, and everyone else is stone and wood. So really cool, interesting build that we've seen a lot of people start doing more recently here, especially out of the English, is where we've seen a really quick second TC build come out of them as well. But GG.simtom utilizing it here with the French, and let's see the timing that GG.simtom ends up getting. Divine just now pulling off a gold, starting his secondary TC. 8 villagers running over to the stone mine right in front of GG.simtom's double scout, so GG.simtom knows exactly what Divine has planned as well. And the reason he didn't go with early farms is because he's saving this wood up for a second TC himself. But who will get it faster? The one way that Divine's really going to be hampered is you're not going to be able to drop that second TC until your Feudal Age landmark finishes. So he's gonna have to have this Council Hall finish, and the School of Cavalry about to already come down, and GG.simtom getting pretty close with his resources in the bank for his second town center already. Wheelbarrow has already come through for Divine, whereas SimTom is delaying it up, most likely go for that after he ends up dropping his second TC, which is the next drop off here right now. Should pull off a stone and go over to the deer here, and staying on top of stone, it's going to be a nice 3 TC boom coming out from SimTom if he's going to stay on the stone like this. Divine, notice what I said earlier. He's going to be hampered by this as far as the resources in the bank. Already has enough for that second TC, but does not have the feudal age timing. And this is that drawback of the early wheelbarrow. He really needed to grab this, the council hall building started earlier on, so then he can immediately drop his second TC. Okay. I was confused at first. I was like, he's not playing against Mongols, but deletes the mining camp so he can get a good positioning for his second town center. He's going to be able to fit a nice square of farms in here, going to be able to secure up his stone, and kind of gives a nice positioning point for his wood villagers as well. Can easily just do a nice short wall on either side. Not too much of an investment if he chooses to do so. But SimTom over on the opposite side, his town centers are producing a little bit faster, and his town center is down earlier as well, on top of those deer, getting him that nice food income, which is what Divine will have the benefit of once he starts dropping in early farms, but goes back onto the stone himself, and first early farm comes down for Divine, but still is going to look for a third TC, it looks like himself. And Divine hasn't even spotted out SimTom's side whatsoever. And this is due to that scout harass that SimTom was focusing in on earlier and hadn't looked on the opposite side, hadn't really seen what SimTom has planned. Trying to run by right now, takes a little bit of damage, sees a villager moving out to go wall, and will start trying to harass that one on up, but at the same time doesn't know what SimTom's doing behind this, which is having a better and more booming eco. Third town center already being dropped by SimTom. Third town center has enough stone for it, so Divine should be able to drop that third town center in just a second, but it is one military, that one scout, and 31 vills versus 34 already, which will continue to climb up faster and faster for SimTom as his town centers just work a little bit harder. All right, villager moving on out. Wolves trying to be cleared by SimTom as they have been a little bit of a pain in his side, and forward walls potentially going down on the north side of the map. The 3 TCs are working hard, and the third TC is about to finish up for Divine. So this has just been a full eco boom up until 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And this is where the eco will start transitioning and turning towards military most likely. Villagers moving out for the boar. Nice little boar play coming in for SimTom. Wants to get that faster food gathering rate, and he might have the same thing planned on the southern side, but would have to pull the boar inside his walls before finishing them up. Scout for Divine spots out the boar play as SimTom is finishing it on up, so he's gonna get this low health villager. Nope. That's not the bill you want to pull. Oh. It's gonna, good little job trying to body block this Vill, keep him alive, but there you go. The first villager has been taken down, and I believe he lost one on the south side as well. No, take the... For some reason, he decided to move on to the deer carcass instead of the boar, so a little bit of a oversight there, but walls are getting closer to finishing up on the north side, and walls are working nice and well on the south. First longbow, though, he's coming in at the perfect time. He finally spots out the walls. SimTom tries to fast build it, and too late for the longbows. Doesn't have a knight or horseman in production yet. Is dropping triple archery range. Wants to match the archers on the opposite side. 2 longbows are on top of his vills, trying to fast build the outpost. Will it be enough? Low villagers being pulled on back. An outpost finishes up. Vills jump inside. Return damage goes on top of the scout, not the longbows, but this will still deny the board, deny that little bit of a food resource for the time being, which is something that SimTom desperately will end up needing. Whereas Divine, he's already heavy into 3 full sets of farms, he's starting to gather in his 4 set of farms as well, which is just going to skyrocket his food eco. He is about to go up to Castle Age in just a second now, whereas SimTom was forced onto a little bit of military and is looking like he might put some aggression down. Being the French, you're able to stay feudal a little bit longer, and a lot of times you will end up doing that. And actually, this is somewhat of a benefit for SimTom since he was on the deer. Now he's utilizing that faster food gathering of the boar, and he has completed his walls in the south. He's completed his walls in the middle, and all he has left is this wall that his villager has moved out to start to work her hammer and finish up the last wall as well. So SimTom has a majority of the map control, and he has a win condition of the 3 sacred sites. So let's see how well this will end up working for him, as well as taking a good bit of this gold on the map. Divine has walled himself in and dropping a white tower dead center in the middle, which will be a really good positioning point, a good spot on the map for him to take control, take advantage of. And these 3 TC booms are just coming out for either side. But again, Divine has not scouted SimTom's base at all. He doesn't know he's 3 TC right now. He doesn't know all this eco that is behind SimTom. It's 67 for Divine. It's 75 for SimTom, 76, and will continue to climb faster and faster. Yes, he may not be Castle Age, but he is not too far behind himself. And going up with the guild hall too. So this means SimTom is in it a little bit for the long haul. The Royal Institute's usually that kind of game changer immediately once you build it. You try to get those Royal Bloodline Knights when you have a mass of them or some already out because you've been pressuring. But we have not seen one single Royal Knight come out yet.
Oh yeah, it's just the moment.
So the walls are all secured. Castle Age is out by either player, but SimTom has control of 4 relics, has control of 3 sacred sites, and should start to gather those as fast as possible, as I'm sure that is one of his priorities, and the first monastery already going down in the south. Outpost coming in the middle stealth forest. No attempted pressure coming out at all from SimTom yet, but still has the military production buildings when needed. Is even transitioning a little bit into farms, not too fast, but just wants to slowly build these in throughout to ease up his food production in the long term, as he will start running out of these secondary food sources, especially with triple TC running for him. Network of Citadels has not yet been grabbed. Divine, only 2 military still. Those are the 2 spearmen that we see popping out right now. So only spears, whereas SimTom doesn't really have anything. He has a few of those horsemen out that killed a few of those longbows, but this is a big commitment onto these spears here. Well, not really in a sense, but he's just going to do that heavy commitment into the typical feudal age army that the English love. It's the spear longbow combo coming in right now, whereas archers are already starting to mass up, or a few are out for SimTom, and choosing to get a few more stables in and a few more ranges might be a nice positioning. Dead center in the middle of these for a keep will reduce the cost of all of these production buildings, but doesn't quite have the stone to do so. SimTom, tons of resources in the bank. Is this going to be like a fast Imperial coming out of the French side? 14 spearmen, 5 longbows moving forward, but it's arbs, it's archers as well for SimTom, and those aren't regular crossbows. As I said, those are arbaletiers, so they will be quite strong with those extra French bonuses. You can already see the pavis. And the keeps going down right in the center of these production buildings, exactly how I mentioned, right as these spears start to take down the walls in the central side of the map. Double monks moving out for relics, and will most likely secure those, bring those home. It's already 1-0, and I'm sure it will about to be a little. You should split up. There we go. Oh, might even be able to secure up the 5th relic, make a 5-0 relic differential. Divine spending more and more time burning up these walls, moving forward with the villager very slow. He doesn't have any vision, remember. He doesn't have any idea of what's going on the opposite side of the map. And SimTom has a good defensive base built up, but doesn't have a ton of military yet himself. He just has a huge economy booming, has this relic security, will have 5 relics in just no time at all, as well as those sacred sites. More farms being dropped in as well, so it's kind of starting to match that opposite side. Only 20 units, and there are the first couple knights. First horsemen are out. That last, well, the horseman that was out earlier is on its way out, kind of baiting a little bit, keeping the outposts alive, but allowing the archers, allowing those arbs to just straight crush everything in their path. Longbows circled, knights circled back and forth, drawing the spears away, and that melee mass of divines is looking like it is getting cleared up quite quickly, as the keep is helping fire down on as well. Production's much closer for SimTom, so we'll continue to mass up these units quicker and quicker, whereas Divine will have to slowly trek these across the map and has a very immobile army of the English. Fight is still looking to go heavy in Divine's favor, as that longbow number still continuing to climb up, has the network of Citadel's bonus coming in for those longbows and clearing out those knights as they come out, but the mangonel is a big difference maker. SimTom moves forward with the mangonel, moves forward with a couple villagers as well. Most likely will try to heal up this outpost a little bit, keep it alive, and regain this positioning on the map. And what is Divine doing? Forward farms next to the sacred site? I mean, I get it, you might not have room, but I figured this might be a little safer and to just continue to wall off. But instead, Divine opting for the just straight middle of the map, where he's building some more outposts, taking more control. 3 relics on the one monastery, 1 relic on the other. Double sacred sites have been capped, and I'm shocked SimTom doesn't even move out and try to go for the next relic. A lot of stuff going on though, just continuing to mass at home. Double mangonels, and luckily for Divine, he doesn't even have to worry about building a siege workshop. The White Tower saves him those resources, just can continue to pump out these springolds, but needs more than just the White Tower production, and will also need that greased axles upgrade to be more effective in these siege battles. The first trebuchet has come out. We'll start to rain down rocks on these outposts, which are so crucial because these are what's giving vision through this stealth forest. Springald emplacement working for SimTom, as well as the one is working for Divine, but maybe not for too much longer. The second Springald has come out, a trebuchet coming out as well for Divine, so he's just trying to kind of equalize the siege war. But look at what is starting to circle behind. It's a scout, it's knights, they see the relic secured, so that will be the 5th relic. And the mass moving forward. Mangonels have to move back, fire down, get taken down by one of the Springolds out of Divine. Mangonel's not able to attack at all. Springald gets taken out. And so will the Trebuchet in just a little bit of time. So Divine massively wins this siege war. But Frontline is getting absolutely crushed by the ARBs, by the extra little bit of fire from the keep and the outpost as well. Walls at home starting to be burnt down by those Royal Knights going for a raid. And now the Royal Knights will help in reinforcements. The one spring on in place outpost for Divine got taken down. There is another still giving him network of castles, network of citadels. So we'll at least have that bonus for the time being. But GG.simtom, he's at max pop. He's looking real strong. Divine, he's only at 169 and is going greedy up to Imperial Age. We just heard it. He's having to move out on the eastern side of this map, which he has walled in, and going for the Wingard Palace. But the raids! The Knights come through. They start to take down the villagers that are trying to rebuild the wall. Fights diving in on the front line. Trebuchet gets taken down. All the siege gets taken down, as well as those forward farms. I told you it was just so greedy, so risky. Knights have not been cleared up, but the wall has been remade, but damage is still being done, and this is not allowing Divine to breathe for the time being. But Imperial Age finishes, and this is huge for the English. Enclosures queued up immediately. Once that comes through, all of these farms will just start pumping in that gold, so it doesn't matter that he is denied off of gold. And this forward positioning that GG.simtom just thought he took, he's throwing away all his units. The White Tower, it's shredding absolutely everything. Look at the Springald getting taken down by it. Everything going on down in this front line from that White Tower, from the outpost, and the raids have been cleared. So Divine, he might be down at 150 population, but he's Imperial Age with a lot of farms, and he has some production behind this and has more room. So he's feeling kind of okay for the time being, whereas GG.simtom, he needs to keep putting pressure. He needs to not allow English to breathe with Imperial Age and remass back up and get to that scary Imperial Age English that everyone knows so well, that is so hard to deal with because these farms. Look at the income per minute. GG.simtom winning in a lot of the regards, but Divine still has that food going for him. And is still kind of feeling safe for the time being. Didn't notice either. GG.simtom is looking for that long-term gold denial, just in case this one is going to be in it for the long haul. He's sending 3 vills out, securing this western side of the map, building stone walls around the market. So once Divine runs out of this big gold node, yes, he has this middle one that he's already mined half of, but there won't be a lot of gold left for him other than his farms. No trade allowed to be coming in, and look at what GG.simtom is doing. GG.simtom is trading. GG.simtom is trading. Knights burning down multiple spots on the wall, making it a little harder for Divine to re-wall, making it a little bit harder for Divine to deal with this, but he already has moved back a steady group of 20 spearmen to deal with about 14 Knights or so. Both walls gets taken down, but it seems like he has forgotten about the front one. Knights start burning down the outpost. Elite Royal Knight upgrade comes on through, and he went with the College of Artillery as expected for his Imperial Age upgrade, so we'll be able to start getting some of that Royal Artillery. Thanks for the follow, Domingue. Knights coming through, Knights going for raiding. GG.simtom has walled up this western side trade market. We'll go ahead and call it that, right as, you know, Divine having 30 vills on this gold. It's not going to be long until he is all mined out of that. Farms being idled all on the main economy, and GG.simtom still has his main army massing up in the middle, has a couple trebuchets, and can potentially start trying to take this down this forward base, and more importantly, the White Tower, which will open up all of Divine's eco. Gold running out for SimTom. Still has that gold vein in the middle that he can secure, but will need to take more and more of this map control in the middle before so. Choosing to wall up with... Oh, thanks for the sub, Domingue. Choosing to wall up with the stone walls, moving forward with his siege now, and this might just be the fight to take. Still has a couple knights on the backside. Wall has finished on up, and here we go. Villagers have backed off of this spot already. Almost finishing up the stone wall, and the knights trying to move forward. Crossbows doing everything they can, but this is a battle that is all about the siege right now. If the siege is able to stay alive, then that will be the winner of this fight. The Mangonel has constantly fired on this back line, trying to fire down on these longbows. No spread formation coming out for Divine. Arbs are taking down everything in their path for the time being, but this is going to be gold being denied. Divine is massing up faster and faster. Some of these knights aren't reinforcing on in, and the Arbaletier mass is getting low. Culverin is back in the middle of these stone walls that were not quite able to finish on up as he had units in the midst of there. The Arbs jumped on top of the stone walls, doing some extra damage, which gives them that little bit of an advantage. Siege is still going to stay alive. Vils moving back forward. Culverin sniping down Vils. Oh no, it's sniping down the outpost. And the next set of knights roaming on through, not only in the middle, but attempting all other sides of the map. Knights moving back and forth. Arbs have been reinforcements. And horsemen have been transitioned into because SimTom does not have the gold that he needs to continue this production. Look at the resources in the bank. Divine running low though, and SimTom's the one sitting all happy. He is continuing to mass this up, and Divine not able to keep up production. And the longer this goes, SimTom's trades en route. And let's see, anyone got a guess on how much those traders are returning? Continuing to move forward a little bit. Villagers taking the gold, but no mining camp. 162, not too bad of a trade though coming in, especially as they continue to build up. Spears just not quite being enough of a front line there as the main mass is sitting back on the trebuchets, but those trebuchets are quite scary. Is there a Shattering Projectiles upgrade in? I don't... Yes, it is. Shattering Projectiles has come out, so these trebuchets will basically act as mangonels and will just take out clumps of units that are together. Look at that. You just see the Culverin getting taken out almost by those trebuchets on the backside, trying to focus in on those Arbs, as I was talking about, landing some decent hits. But those longbows are going to be the key thing, able to just wipe down everything in their path, and the stone walls have still not been finished. SimTom doing a little bit of long distance mining, scared to rebuild a mining camp for some reason, I guess. And the horsemen moving forward get a little bit of a surround on some of those longbows, but you can't tell how many spears are actually in the mix as well. Arb still firing down the backside, Trebs moving forward, and Divine has pushed SimTom back again. SimTom continues to send units to the west, tries to tear down these walls, but there are outposts with bombard emplacements in there. Those cannon emplacements are just going to continually kill out these knights. Proxy stables being built on the west side. Gold has run out. Stone has run out. It is only wood and food coming in for Divine, except for those farms with those enclosures, able to just continually mass up with this gold production. But one of the key things you can't forget about is SimTom. 5 relics and 2 sacred sites, 700 gold per minute coming in, and this is seeming to be a long game, so these relics really can be the difference. No more arbs. Hand cannoneers are the chosen factor. Longbows still moving up. Tons of outposts trying to be fast built, but those vills are very, very vulnerable to going down. Cannoneers taking top of the wall will let them take reduced damage of these longbows and allow them to get some damage off as horsemen continue to reinforce on in, but these trebuchets are staying alive and Divine is moving forward. He is reclaiming the gold in the middle. A cannon in the eastern side, taking down a stone wall throughout all this. So SimTom is trying to get a little bit of a spot for his raiding party. Trying to push back this army of Divine, moving forward, trying to take down some of these units. And not only that, he needs to start taking down some of these outposts that have been going up. More and more traders coming online for SimTom, so this gold is starting to flow into his bank at 2,400 per minute, beating Divine in every category except for the food regard, but has plenty of food in the bank still. Just needs to make some headway here as this game has seemed to stalled out here in this middle. There's no breaking through the outside, but as I say that, Knights have broken through the outside. Horsemen are in the economy of Divine. Divine is having to send reinforcements back home, and this means there will not be reinforcements forward, which you can notice SimTom's starting to push through. He's on top of the trebs, and those trebs are the really important unit for Divine to keep alive. He needs those to stay in mass. Multiple spots being taken down. This cannon is just shredding everything in this path. Wants multiple holes, multiple spots in the wall for SimTom to just send all of his horsemen through, which you can already see continuing to just mass up faster and faster through this. The cannon's even moving forward to try to get some extra damage on the backside. Divine moving a little bit too far forward, it looks like, with this trebuchets, not really finding any damage, and those trebuchets on the side of SimTom have pushed forward, taken down a lot of those outposts, re-denied the gold again. And Divine, he still has 2k gold left, but after that, he will only be relying on gold from farms, which he does not have a ton of room. He does not have a ton of map control right now. SimTom looks like he is starting to take control of this game a little bit. A little bit more, I should say, as he has had the map control a lot of this time, but Divine has seemed to be able to push back and hold for quite a while. Only 4 men-at-arms in queue for Divine. He's trying to get a little bit of a swap in, needs to get those elite men-at-arms, wants to get a tanky front line, but the problem is those hand cannoneers, those arbs just do such a good job of shredding those men-at-arms, and there are horsemen all over this economy right now. Villagers building outposts, gonna try to get a spot over there on the west side, but for now, it is all about this eastern side. Cannon emplacements coming out from SimTom. He said 2 can play at that game, Divine. I see all your outposts at home with cannon emplacements. I have taken some of your game now. And those men-at-arms, those spearmen on the east are starting to get shredded down by those. Proxy ranges coming in from SimTom behind all of this. So while the fight's happening in the middle, SimTom is the one playing the long game. SimTom's the one playing the mind game. He walls up trade. He builds proxy bases on either side and then focuses in on the middle as well. He is not allowing Divine to breathe right now. SimTom remassing back up. He might be a little bit heavy on the eco though, as he has 9,000 wood in the bank. Could potentially cut some bills off of the wood and get some more military out to allow him to win this fight a little better, or take away from some of these raids. Vills Oh no, it's Men-at-Arms looking like they're wanting to move out to that western side that GG.simtom has been at for a little bit of time, kind of messing around, and GG.simtom's trying to wall this down faster. Main fight coming down in the middle. Knights starting to tear through that mass, moving back for those trebuchets. If those trebuchets get taken down, Divine is solely relying on this Berkshire, which isn't that fast at producing those, and all of the trebuchets get taken down. GG.simtom is moving forward with this mass, has triple culverins, so nothing really to take down these outposts super efficiently. Needs cannons or trebuchets. The villager has been taken down, but the double proxy ranges are still alive for the time being. Palisade wall or palisade gate being built along the walls to make a little bit of a hole for these Men-at-Arms to just run through, go take down this trebuchet that's starting to kill the outposts that are keeping Divine's walls, keeping him alive and safe. But all during this time, GG.simtom has been moving forward further and further in the middle. He's moving forward with his own walls, with his own outpost spam, and has trade through all of this. Look at Divine's income per minute. It's just not quite there on the gold. Has the food still though, and just all about these battles taken back and forth, and GG.simtom just trading more efficiently, has tons of more eco into the bank. Western side starting to get taken down. Keep trying to be built. Some spears, some Men-at-Arms. Oh, they almost spotted it out, but they turned back around. The middle starting to move forward. GG.simtom might have to fall back. The culverins. Oh, they didn't go for the trebuchet. They fell on back. Oh, they turn around. They're just helping with units for the time being. The Arbs are doing everything they can. Villagers trying to work away, trying to hammer down these outposts, but just not doing enough right now. The Royal Cannon has come into the mix though. The help that he needed to take down these outposts, but also has high base damage for some units as well. More outposts being dropped on this southern side. There is still a massive hole, which I'm surprised GG.simtom is not continually taking advantage of, but is full focus right now on this middle. Keep has been built on the western side, and Knights are starting to come out of the west. Remember, there is no stone for Divine to keep upgrading these towers, so he has to trade in resources for that stone, which is just so expensive. Whereas GG.simtom has had security of this stone over here on the west for a little bit of time. Siege is into the mix, and Divine cannot continue to build siege. He's basically stuck to trash units now, as he is running lower on the resources, where GG.simtom, he is fine and healthy, has thousands and thousands of resources in the bank. And look at the Royal Knight number. He has them in mass, has a nice good surround, tons of attacks coming in, and look at how many more are coming in reinforcements. Ram being built on the southern side, so just all over the map. GG.simtom just continuing to take more and more map control. Trebuchet coming out, starting to take down more of those outposts, keeping Divine's base alive, and stone walls coming in over on the west to keep that Treb alive. This has been a crazy back and forth, and will it ever end? Who will finally break through? Wood lines are even starting to run low. Look at the wood lines. This is crazy, and GG.simtom has control of the secondary wood lines, which is massive. There's not going to be an additional a lot of wood that Divine's going to be able to get if he continues just chopping away, which he is definitely continuing to chop as fast as he possibly can. That's all his vills are on, is wood and food. Culverins being taken down by the longbows though. Defensive mass trying to be built up behind all of these outposts. GG.simtom rebuilding his mass and rebuilding more outposts on that forward spot. Villagers getting shut down by the outposts might be a blessing in disguise, as he has had too much eco. Ram still not being utilized quite yet. just crushes down if it's actually able to fire. Usually just doesn't get close enough to actually fire down. As you see, not really being utilized a ton right now, but when it does fire, it does a lot. Horseman transitioning to yet again by DrDabston. He has re-walled this whole western side. The trebuchet is taking down the outpost. But the fight in the middle is the main key. The Ribaldic win, another one. It gets another fire. It's keeping alive. Look at this thing. Kills all the melee mass in front of it. Just needs to keep doing it. Keep moving forward. Who would have known it's a Ribaldic win? I never would have guessed it in a million years to see that come out. Still only a couple trebuchets, only 3 trebuchets for Divine at this point. Horsemen coming out, archers or longbows and villagers and spears just not really doing enough. There's a few men-at-arms trickled in there, but you can see how well those horsemen are doing. They're able to just tank up so much and continue to come out, able to get on top of the trebuchets, and trebuchets are going down. I just said how crucial they are. Divine wants a mass of them, and he is not getting that mass as DrDabston continues to hold these pushes right as Divine seems like he is regaining some map control. All of a sudden, DrDabston is right there, right back in it. Ram has finally started to take down some of the walls. Divine going ahead for a re-wall, but we'll have to start dealing with some of that stuff at home, and hasn't sent anything over there yet. Everything has just been queued up for this middle. Knights and horsemen, like the true French that we typically would see, hand cannoneers as well, but mainly those cavalry are what is going to be so strong, and that's why Divine is still sticking on those spearmen. Longbows trying to help on in, just such a high health amount from these horsemen. Trebuchet is taking down more and more of these outposts, and look at the wood lines. This is going to be it. Is this going to be it? Divine's going to have to call it when he runs out of wood. There's nothing he's going to be able to do. Rams are starting to burn through the backside again. He doesn't even need to ram through, as there is a hole in the wall that he could just be funneling horsemen through. Taking down more of these outposts on the front side though, and as he takes down more of these outposts, these are so big because all of the stone invested into these outposts is not easy for Divine to regain. It's not easy for Divine to rebuild back up. Another cannon emplacement outpost about to go on down. Cannons being helped by these villagers, being healed on up, and all of this middle fight has just been stuck back and forth, back and forth. There's still a gold vein that can't even be touched because there's so much fighting going on right here. But will there finally be a breakthrough? And as I say that, the hand cannoneers, the few arbs, they break through the backside farms because these rams, and the rams, they're taking down all the farms as well, which doesn't seem like a big deal. But as these villagers idle, as all of this becomes just barren wasteland over here in the eastern side, this is going to be gold that's being denied as well. This is going to be a ton of resources that Divine needs right now, as he is the one that is the one low on resources. Stone walls being taken down right as they are built back up. Trebuchet mass up to 4. That is basically all that Divine has been able to get up to with that trebuchet mass. Ram finally being taken down. Walls have been rebuilt, but the hand cannoneers building yet another ram. If it worked once, it'll work again. Another villager has moved out, built an outpost, and starting to build additional outposts as well, giving him vision of the farms, and sure enough, we'll have upgrades come through as well. Fight in the middle has just been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is just a game where you do not want to be a militia unit out of either of these people, because you're just going to die. You were just thrown into the gauntlet, thrown into the fire, and just going down. time and time again. Springle's actually coming out to try to deal with the trebuchets. Trebuchets are at 5, and the trebuchets are just going to turn. They're going to act like Springles themselves because there's so many, and they don't even need to. They're going to start acting like mangonels instead, and look at that. The AoE damage just does so much to this back line. But Divine, it looks like he's about to break through this front line finally. But there's a lot of units coming from multiple sides of his backside as all of these outposts have been taken down. The wood line has been chopped through, and SimTom has vision of this. We're gonna go to the vision of SimTom. Look at this map control. Look at this vision he has, and sees all of these villagers vulnerable as could be. Whereas Divine, he hasn't even gotten to SimTom's side. This is the telling point of this game. This just shows you the big problem for Divine. Hasn't been able to touch the eco of SimTom, and this game is SimTom's. He has horsemen in the backside. This might just be it. Yes, Divine seems like he is winning the front side, but he is losing the bigger war, which is everything coming in right now. All of his farms being struggled. His frontline mass, yes, they've killed a lot of these units. There's a ton of red on the ground. He's taken a lot of this map control, built more of these outposts, but he better make sure that this death ball is going to stay alive and be the game ender, because he does not have much more left. Has rewalled this western side, but the western side's not the only side to worry about, as the hand cannoneers are still in the east. 2,500 stone in the guild hall for SimTom to claim win. Oh, he just claimed it. 2,600 stone in the guild hall that he was just able to claim, able to build up keeps, able to take more and more of this map control. Could potentially just grab some vills, run through this side right here. These are 11 vills right here, and just drop a keep right in this backside. During all of this, there's no way that Divine can react with the army that he has. English's army is so slow, so immobile. He'd have to delete it, remass back up. And let's see if that might be what SimTom has in mind in this game. The horsemen are still raiding through. There's still chop throughs coming through, as there is not much wood left for Divine to grab. Hand cannoneers continuing to raid as well. And Divine, he's down to 88 eco. And now these units are going to be so much more of a struggle to mass back up. The trebuchet, it's moving a little bit too far forward. Culverin takes down one of the trebs. There's only 4 left, and those only 3 of them are full health, or 2 of them now, and only 3 trebuchets left in this fight. But the trebuchets aren't the only thing to worry about. More farms being built for Divine, but Divine needs to protect the farms that he's building, as 9 hand cannoneers are about to just shred through some more vills. Divine down to 60 food into the bank. You know that he is struggling for food if he is English and only has that much. He's down to 130 population. There is no way that SimTom's under 200, and he is at 196, just continuing to have everything in queue. Has all that he wants, 10,000 wood in the bank still, and he is finally breaking through. Divine not even reacting to these hand cannoneer raids, and he's sending men-at-arms to the hand cannoneers, which the hand cannoneers will gladly take that fight any day. The frontline mass has been demolished as well. SimTom has broken through the front. He's broken through the sides. He's broken through the south. He is everywhere. He is calling game. He wants to end this, and he wants to end this soon. And there it is, Divine. He finally calls quit. SimTom was just a little too much map control, a little too much back and forth, too much raiding on the eco, and what a great first game of this best of 3 of this series. If you're watching this on YouTube, throw the sub, the thumbs up button. Go ahead and check out the next game as well, and comment down below. And if you're watching this on Twitch, thanks everyone for checking out. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next one as well.